This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
This is the Noon Barbados Today update for Tuesday, May 27th, 2014. I'm Dawn Paris. Good afternoon. Send them packing. President of the Clement Payne Movement, David Commichong, is telling rank and file members of the Barbados Workers Union and the National Union of Public Workers that the current leadership must be booted out because of their political affiliations. He's accusing some executive members of the BWU and NUPW of putting those loyalties before the interests of workers. In a press statement on the matter, Commichong accused the trade unionist of playing mock sport with the lives of dismissed public servants, including those who've been retrenched at the National Conservation Commission. And Commichong is urging members of the two trade unions to act before too much damage is done by those whom he describes as being partisan and politically compromised. Change is coming to Barbados's foreign policy. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Maxine McLean, made the announcement this morning at the start of the 15th International Academy of African Business Conference being held at the UWI Cave Hill. Emmanuel Joseph reports.
Senator McLean told the conference that she was now reviewing the draft foreign policy. She did say that this foreign policy is giving greater consideration to the African continent, within the context of opening more trading and business links with Africa. Without going into the further details, she echoed the sentiments of various other speakers who saw the need for greater cooperation with Africa, a continent that other speakers have said is growing by leaps and bounds. She also drew attention to the critical role of cooperatives, that is the credit union movement, with their vast resources in funding these various activities. Over the next 2 days, delegates will look at marketing and consumer behavior, entrepreneurship, small business, and the informal sector, human resources management, and organization. From the University of the West Indies, Emmanuel Joseph for Barbados Today.
Thanks, Emmanuel. In other news, eradication may not be possible and attention should turn to control. The view of head of the Coastal Zone Management Unit, Dr. Lorna Innes, as the country continues to battle the invasive lionfish that was discovered here 3 years ago. She says this may be the best option for Barbados in light of varying levels of response by regional states.
The fact that not all of the islands across the Eastern Caribbean have the capacity to do what we're doing. Some of them don't even have the expertise. That is one of the challenges. And then also, Barbados is one of the few countries with a coastal zone management unit dedicated to doing this kind of thing. Most of the other islands have an environment unit that has to deal with climate change and land degradation and coastal erosion and gullies and streams and rivers and pollution and everything else, and they have 3 and 4 people in them. So it is very hard for those countries to address something like this in a comprehensive way.
He's calling it a day. After 23 years of service with the Barbados Family Planning Association, George Griffith steps down at the end of January. He plans to go on pre-retirement leave in 6 months' time, though. The executive director says while he'll continue to assist the association, his primary focus will be on men's health.
And I believe that I'm going to be able to do more for the association when I'm out of office than in, because I'm bound sometimes by too many rules and regulations. I'm not criticizing rules and regulations, but I'll be able to get out into the community and do more. I have a passion for, of course, music. I've gone back to music, farming, and I want to do some writing. There's hardly anything written on the contribution of the family planning movement to the social and economic development of Barbados and the Caribbean, and I'll be taking on that as a project.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Haitian Sun Power.
Welcome back. We turn to the region now and we go to Trinidad and Tobago, where the central bank is injecting $200 million into the market. The move aims to address immediate short-term needs in the foreign currency market and assure the general public and the business community that the country has enough foreign exchange reserves to satisfy demand. On the international scene, the head of France's main opposition party is resigning following allegations of funding fraud by his party and a poor showing at the European elections. His resignation goes into effect next month. The fraud allegations relate to Nicolas Sarkozy's failed campaign for re-election as president. And that's where we end the noon update. Join us again at 6 this evening. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Dawn Paris.
The Business Minute is brought to you by Signia Financial Group.
To my people out there working hard to expand your horizons, chasing a flawless dream. Keep your eyes on the prize and we don't look back. It's forward thinking, on to the new stuff. It's time to lay bricks on the foundation of your future.
Get set with Signia to be sure the world will be yours. Take you to exceptional, incredible new heights. And get set with Signia.
Signia, quality solutions for your financial needs.
This is the Barbados Today Business Minute for Tuesday, May 27th, 2014. I'm Dawn Paris. Economist Jeremy Stephen is describing the lack of an e-commerce platform in government departments as worrying in light of the recent Auditor General's report. He says all revenue collecting government agencies should be taking payments electronically so as to better manage cash flow. Stephen was addressing an accountants seminar recently at the Hilton Resort.
Government highlights licenses, road tax as strong cash flow taxes. And I'm saying, if some cash goes missing, right now, as far as I'm concerned, cash should be secondary for things like that. It should be secondary. It should checks first and cards. Everybody has a debit card. And it should be required as part of government control because now you have the bank being able to monitor what you're doing much more effectively if you can reduce the amount of steps it takes before the bank receives the final thing. And given the terminals, you get instant receipts. So it becomes a bit more difficult not to control cash flow. Via that, people should be able to pay their VAT online every cent. And that is the most technologically advanced department. But the banks here obviously put a high cost on e-commerce, but nonetheless, there are ways to go about it. Use a credit card.
Stephen, who's the president of the Barbados Economic Society, also raised concern about another section of the report which showed that taxes on goods and services performed below budgeted expectations by about $130 million for the fiscal year 2012-2013. He notes this has implications for investor confidence.
Why I picked that up as a major concern to any investor is that unlike what most people believe, tourism is not our biggest industry. It's not. It's retail and distribution. 20% of GDP comes from that. Tourism is around 18 or so, 16 to 18, depending on who you believe. But it's a major source of foreign exchange. That's the major advantage or major benefit to tourism.
Barbadian youth interested in agriculture will soon have another avenue to upgrade their skills. The Ministry of Agriculture will soon be launching its Youth Agropreneurship Program in mid-August. Senior economist in the Ministry of Agriculture, Katrina Bradshaw, says the program will run for 3 years. Besides the development of various crops, the program will seek to address issues relating to predial larceny, marketing, packaging and labeling. A farmers market will also be developed and partnerships forged with a number of youth groups, institutions and community groups. In addition, Bradshaw says the project will seek to train the youth in model farming and encourage new product development. The project will be carried out in association with the European Union and the Ministry of Labour. Cable and Wireless Communications, the parent company of Lime, says it plans to invest $1 billion in its fixed and mobile network over the next 3 years. under its Project Marlin investment program. This was revealed in the company's financial statement for the year ending March 31st, 2014. Cable and Wireless is expected to increase its capital investment program by 30% in the next 3 years, adding a total of $250 million to its standard level capital expenditure. The new strategy will target top-line growth with investment in new networks and services like 4G mobile networks, Wi-Fi hotspots, TV services and business-to-business solutions across its operations in the Caribbean and Latin America. Now for today's financial tip. The older you get, the more your ability to manage your own financial affairs decreases. It's therefore important to endow someone you trust with the responsibility of managing your finances for you when you reach a certain age. That's been the Barbados Today Business Minute. Join us again on Thursday. Until then, you can get more business and news by logging on to www.barbadostoday.tv, subscribing to our e-paper and liking us on Facebook. I'm Dawn Paris.
The Business Minute is brought to you by CZMU Financial Group.
To my people out there working hard to expand your horizons, chasing a flawless dream. Keep your eyes on the prize and we don't look back. It's forward thinking, on to the new stuff. It's time to lay bricks on the foundation of your future.
Get set with CZMU to be sure the world will be yours. Take you to exceptional, incredible new heights. And get set with CZMU.
CZMU, quality solutions for your financial needs.